Okay, this should be a rather short lecture because we've already looked at this technique several times, but I want you to be aware that there are layers here. Let's go back to our butterflies. If I click on this, notice that I've got this big image here, and it's in the foreground. So I can move it around and I can grab it. Now let's grab the bear and move it around. Up, I can't grab the bear. One of the problems is that the butterflies are in the way. So there's a few ways to handle this. The first is to crop down the butterflies to make them smaller so that you can click on the bear. The other is to move the butterflies out of the way so that you can click on the bear and select him. And the other one is to move the butterflies to the background. I right-click and I say, send to back. Now the bear's in the front and I can click on him and I can move him around wherever I want. And then I can right-click and I can send him to the back. Now there's a stacking order to images, so I can just keep sending to back and bringing to front. And in fact, I can actually send it one position back. So here, send to back. Notice there's a cascading menu here. I can send all the way to the back, or I can send backward. That means send it back just one image. So if I had a stack of 3 images, I could send it back just partially. Now let's go ahead and grab this image of the butterflies and we'll copy it. Let's bring it over here so that we can get a few images, and I will paste it. Now I've got my butterflies flying around here on my picture, and now I've got 3 pictures. So if I send the butterflies back, let's right-click, and I send backward instead of all the way to the back. Now notice this butterfly is between the picture of me and the frame. So it's behind the frame, but it's in front of me. If I click on the butterfly, okay, I've got to send this image backward so that I can get my butterflies. And now, if I take that and I send the butterflies all the way to the back, in other words, send them to the back, then they disappear because now they're behind the picture of me. And now the picture of me has to go back at least one. So let's send it backward. And now the picture of me is in front of the butterflies and it's behind the frame, so I can't see the butterflies. Interesting. So that's raising and lowering stack layers. Now the other way to get to images, so here I can poke on him, and if I say send to back, let's send him to the back or backward. Now I can't select the bear anymore because my butterfly image is completely covering the bear. Well, one of the things that you can do to make selection a little easier and get these butterflies kind of out of the way is to crop them. So you notice there's a lot of excess image here that I'm not using. If I go to crop and I bring in the corners so that I'm just selecting the butterfly area. There we go. And we do this crop. There we go. Now you can see I can select both the bear and the butterflies because they're a little smaller and they can be out of the way. So I can move them both without having to bring them forward and backward. So that's kind of a little trick. Keep your crop as close to the images as you can so that you can select multiple images and you don't have to keep moving things out of the way or raising and lowering them. And raise them and lower them to position things in front and behind. So that's raising and lowering and what layers are and how to crop them and so on. In the next lecture, we're going to look at applying effects to individual image elements and groups of image elements. So we're going to do grouping of images. This will be neat. I'll see you there.